Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, and welcome along to the Sports Corner Live for another live watch along on the YouTube channel. And of course, it is finals week on the channel, which means we are continuing where we left off yesterday after what was a quite entertaining championship playoff final. We are back for the next playoff final on a very nice warm Sunday as Blackpool take on Lincoln City in the League One Playoff Final. We are about 5 minutes away from kickoff. And I just want to say very quickly a massive thank you to Pauline Hodson for joining the Premium Sports Corner. Thank you very much for joining us with a subscription. Greatly appreciated with that. So thank you once again, Pauline. But what a game this is going to be. Lincoln v Blackpool. Both these sides have had 9 goals in their last 2 games against each other. Are we on for an absolute firecracker today? We'll have to find out in a few moments' time. Very quickly, I'm just going to move my microphone, move it to the side, and say a quick hello to everyone. How are we all doing? It's me again. That's right. For the 3rd time already this weekend, you've got me for the League One Final. And look, what a game this should be today. It should be an absolute firecracker of a match between 2 sides that have had a little bit of everything this season. Lincoln have never actually been out of the top 6. They've been there pretty much for the most of the season. Blackpool at one point was sat lingering in the relegation zone back, I think it was in late October, and they had a brilliant surge at the back end of the season to get themselves into the playoffs and finish in 3rd place. Well, look, I'm not going to lie, I think this game is going to be probably the best of the 3 finals that we had. You know, yesterday we saw Brentford in what was a very good game against, I think, Swansea, of course, who didn't really turn up on the day, if I'm being honest with you. But it was a good game overall, really good first 20 minutes. We had that chance for a Tony volley, and I think that this is the game with the most potential. 2 sides that, look, have been brilliant this season. And Blackpool, coming off that back of the big and very entertaining win against Oxford United, that 3-3 game in the second leg of the semi-final. And then, of course, Lincoln City coming up against what were the favourites in Sunderland to win the League One playoffs and eventually knocking them out. So we could have had a Blackpool-Sunderland final. It's a very deserved Blackpool-Lincoln final. And I'm very, very excited to see how this game goes down. How are we doing, everybody, in the chat as well? Sean Evans in the building says, is anyone bit of a Football Manager gamer? I am indeed, yes, I like a bit of Football Manager. And then Kyle's in the building as always. How you doing, Kyle? Hope you are all good. Without further ado, let's go through the lineups for today's game now. As you can see on the screen, that is Blackpool's lineup today. They're actually lined up with a 4-2-3-1. Chris Maxwell is in goal. Back 3 sees former Everton man Luke Garbutt and Ollie Turton as the fullbacks, with Dan Ballard, and James Husband as the 2 centre-backs. It's Kevin Stewart and Kenny Dougal as the CDMs, with Elliot Embleton playing a little bit more of an attacking role than the flat midfield, what they were playing against Oxford United in the second leg last week. We've got Dimitri Michel on the right-hand side, Keshi Anderson on the left, and then, of course, Jerry Yates, former Millers man, up top. The bench is quite small today, actually. There's 7 on the bench, which is, I think, what you're allowed in the playoffs, which is a shame, because I actually think they should be allowed more. As for the away side today, Lincoln City, this is how they're lining up with a 4-3-3 today. I did forget to say, actually, Sims is missing out for Blackpool. He picked up a late injury in training with the last kick of training yesterday, which is a real shame for him. And this is the lineup for Lincoln. Alex Palmer is in goal. Back 4 of Tayo Edun, Joe Walsh, Timothy Aoma, and Regan Poole, former Man U player. Midfield 3, very strong midfield, isn't it? George Grant, Conor McGrandles, and former Sunderland man Liam Bridcut are the midfield 3 today. Morgan Rogers on the left-hand side. Brennan Johnson in potentially his last game of the season before he goes to Nottingham Forest, back from his loan spell on the right-hand side. And Tom Hopper is up top. So 2 very, very strong teams on paper. 2 teams that arguably have got a very, very good chance of making the championship next season. The question is, which one of these teams is going to fall at the final hurdle, and which one of these sides is going to be making the championship next season? Now, I mean, look, for the neutral, this should be the game which has a little bit of everything in it. I think this has got a really good opportunity to be a high-tempo, great attacking match with lots of opportunities left, right and centre. And I don't think it'll go the same way as what we saw yesterday with Brentford, where they scored 2 goals in the first 20 minutes and pretty much killed the game off. I think these 2 have got a very, very good record against each other in terms of scoring goals. In fact, as I said at the beginning of the stream, 9 goals in the last 2 games have gone in between these two sides. So it does tend to be usually quite a firecracker of a match when these two sides faced off against each other. But with it being at Wembley as well, the pressure is going to be, a little bit more rampant than it would be in the likes of Blackpool and Lincoln Stadium. And of course, a lot of fans there today as well, for the first time, potentially some of them being able to see their club this season. Some of them might have been at that semi-final a few nights ago. So the ball's going to get rolling in a second, as of course everybody takes the knee to say no to racism. Do put your score predictions in the chat for this game, because I'm looking forward to it. It should be a very, very good match. But we are going to get the ball rolling. And without further ado, the referee blows his whistle, and this League One Play-Off Final gets underway at Wembley. And look, let's hope we've got an absolute brilliant game today. Kale in the building now doing Kale. He says absolutely buzzing for this one. And same here, I think this has got the real potential to be a brilliant, brilliant game. And once again, for those of you that are watching, try not to spoil what goes on in the game, because I will probably be very, very slightly behind from what you guys might see on your screen. But I think I should be all good. But yeah, this deserves to be a brilliant match. Both teams scored a fair few goals in the playoffs. Blackpool scoring 6, Lincoln scoring 3. And it should be a cracker. We've already got an opportunity here. Ball lobbed into the box towards Jerry Yates, and there's already a goal! And it's only taken 50 seconds! And it isn't Blackpool, it's Lincoln who put the ball in the back of the net. And just like that, 50 seconds in, pure joy for Lincoln, as they've already scored after 60 seconds, courtesy of an own goal. And it's a catastrophic own goal at the back for Blackpool. And I'll tell you something, it's so disappointing for Ballard and Husband at the back, and Turton as well. And it's the very, very simple opportunity. Ball's fed down the left-hand side, and Morgan Rogers, he's got brilliant ability, plays a ball into the box, and in the end it comes into the path of Turton, who just puts the ball in the back of his own net. And that is so unlucky for him, and there's not really much he can do there in terms of sorting his feet out, Turton. And it's an absolute nightmare for Turton, a nightmare for Blackpool. And just like that, we expected goals in this game. We've got a goal after 50 seconds. And Turton, usually such a dependable player in these biggest situations. And I was going to say at the start that Blackpool have got the goalkeeper with the most clean sheets in the English leagues. With Chris Maxwell, I think he's had 24 clean sheets. But what a start it is for Lincoln, who get themselves right on the front foot. It's 1-0, and just like that, I think if you are the Lincoln manager, Michael Appleton, you would have not dreamed of a much better start than that, would you now? Brilliant, brilliant start. As Kyle said, his prediction was Lincoln 2-1. Already got a goal. What a way to start. And look, I think at the end of the day, it's better to concede a goal in the first minute than the last minute, in my personal opinion. I think it's better to concede. I don't know why the scoreboard's not updated. Do give me 2 seconds on that. Let me see why that's not updated. Let me try now, see if it's updated on the screen. But yeah, we had a really good early start to this match. As you would expect, we've had a brilliant start to the game. And hopefully we should have a very, very good rest of the match. I'm just trying to sort out the scoreboard on the left-hand side, so apologies for now. I can't see you guys in the chat. I don't know what's going on with it. It doesn't seem to have changed. But what a start. And as we've said before, when teams score first in the League One Play-Off Finals, 25 out of the 30 teams have won the match. That's 83% of the time that the team that scored first has gone on to win the game. And that will roughly give a little bit of positivity to Lincoln for the way that they've started. As for Blackpool, I mean, what do you do now? You've got to go back to the... Well, I'm saying go back to the drawing board. It's kind of one of those cases, isn't it, really, where there's going to be a lot of work to do. You just got to keep the heads calm. And hopefully, we should see some good stuff happening in this game. Let me just quickly sort out the scoreboard again. Apologies. I really don't know why it's not working. And then, of course, I can continue on with everything going on. But it is a Blackpool 0, Lincoln 0. It should be now Blackpool 0, Lincoln 1. Apologies. Having an absolute nightmare here. Of course, technology doesn't want to work. And there we go. It's working now. We got it sorted. So 1-0 to Lincoln. And what a start. Couldn't ask for anything better as a Lincoln fan. And I think we've got a lot of goals in this game. I really do. I think if there's one of these games that had the potential to have lots of goals, it could be this one. And when you see Blackpool's very, very good front three that they've got today, in fact, it's a front four of Jerry Yates up top, who's been brilliant this season. You know, Blackpool's top scorer, quality player, has got lots of experience at the higher divisions of football. Had a time, of course, with Rotherham United in the Championship. Didn't do really well there, but he had a little bit of experience, I guess. Elliot Embleton, been brilliant for them this season, scored an absolute cracker of a goal in the second leg of their game against Oxford United, literally last week. As Russ is in the building. How are you doing, Russ? Hope you're good, as always, my friend. And then they've got the likes of Mitchell and Anderson on the wings as well. I really do think that they can cause problems today. But, you know, when you look at Lincoln's team as well, I really do think Lincoln have got a high quality midfield for a League One side. You've got that experience in Liam Bridcut, who's been there and done that. You know, being at Sunderland is probably his best example. Oh, my Lord. Ryan, how are you doing, my friend? $50 donation. You absolute legend. Thank you so much, Ryan. I'm going to have to stop for a second because there's a ball into the box by Johnson. And it's going out of play for a corner. But thank you so much, Ryan. You absolute legend. He's put, hey, Josh. Hope all is well. Glad to see you and the guys keeping us up to date as much as possible. Go get groceries on me, petrol, or a special someone a coffee. Hope you have an awesome day, mate. Ryan, you're a legend. Honestly, thank you so much. $50 donation. Thank you, Ryan. God, you are an absolute godsend. Hope you're good as always, mate. Good to see you. I know you've been in the streams the last few days. I hope everything's treating you all right with the world and how everything is right now. But there's going to be a chance here for Lincoln, and it could be an opportunity. Ball's played into the box, and nothing comes from it in the end. And once again, Ryan, thank you so much. I'll probably say it about 100 times before the end of the stream. But what a generous donation. $50. Absolutely incredible. And what a brilliant start we've had here as well. Is Lincoln really trying hard to push on the front foot. And don't you worry, Ryan. I will be grabbing a coffee definitely very soon with the money. So thank you very much, Ryan. As Donna's in the building. How are we doing, Donna? Welcome along to the stream. And welcome along, Kurt, Manchester United fan as well. How are we doing, Kurt? As always, hope you're good, my friend. As we are 7 minutes into this playoff final. 1-0 as it stands. Goal in the first 50 seconds for those of you maybe just joining at the very start of this game. Coming from Ollie Turton own goal. Absolutely incredible start for any Lincoln fan out there. And a torturous start for a Blackpool fan. Because now you're going to be sat there for a good chunk of time hoping and praying that Blackpool can probably get two and take the lead. And you can hear a lot of Lincoln fans, of course, as you would expect, cheering. And a lot of quiet from, a lot of silence right now from the Blackpool fans. But it's early days, and there's a long way to go in this game. As Sean's put, legend or nutter. Fantastic donation, mate. Thank you once again, Ryan. And then Kurt says he's doing good tonight. Fantastic to hear, Kurt. Glad you are good, as always. As there's a chance here for Lincoln to come forward again. Very lively start from the away side. Ball's played to Morgan Rogers. And he's absolutely hacked down by Luke Garbett. And I think here there's going to be an early yellow card yet for Luke Garbett. Garbett's going to go into the book. Early yellow card there, which is not what you want to see really after 8 minutes, is it? A yellow card coming out. Always risky, isn't it, at the early stages of this game to go into the book. And Luke Garbett now is going to be under some pressure to not get sent off. Of course, we did see a red card yesterday, didn't we? We saw Jay Fulton get the straight red for a terrible foul. But there's going to be a free kick here for Lincoln. And maybe an opportunity to double their lead. Brentford yesterday, 2 goals in 20 minutes. Maybe 2 goals in 10 minutes here for Lincoln. It's going to be George Grant standing over the free kick. Going to be lofted into the box. A good cross in the end, and it was a good chance for Walsh to get his head onto the ball, and he does. But in the end, the header is just a little bit too high, and it goes wide and completely wayward of the goal, and not really much work there for Mitchell to do in the Blackpool goal. Just completely mistimes the header. And all he's got to do is just get the ball down, I think, with that header there. And maybe he's going to test Mitchell. But we've got a chance here now for Blackpool as Jerry Yates drives forward onto the left wing, just outside the box. Ball is placed into the middle. There's a chance for Elliot Embleton to get a slight touch, but it doesn't come to him. And it's now Blackpool's turn to start ramping the pressure on this Lincoln side. They've not really had much to do in this first 10 minutes, Lincoln. Ball's placed towards Jerry Yates at the near post. But a good clearance in the end by Ioma. And the chance for Blackpool goes wide of the mark, but good pressure. And the Blackpool fans, probably for the first time, just start to cheer and applaud their side as they try and push for the early equaliser in this game. And Kurt saying, I'm happy. Man United challenge for the Champions League next year, bro. We'll have to see. We were looking at the pots yesterday for the UCL. And pot 2 looks harder than pot 1. So if you're in pot 2, actually works out better, I think, this year than it does being in pot 1. Because pot 1's got Sporting, Lille, I think Benfica's might be in there. There was a few weaker teams in there, realistically speaking. While pot 2 had Barca, it had Real, Man U. A lot of big teams were in there. So realistically, pot 2 is actually better in certain respects for the Champions League next season. But once again, thank you, Ryan. Still coming up on the screen. I can't believe a $50 donation. We don't get donations often on here, but honestly, Ryan is an absolute legend of the channel. He's given so much to us recently, and he's an absolute godsend. And hopefully, as I said, everything's been treating you all right with COVID and things like that. But 10 minutes on the clock here. Long ball. Trying to get it towards Jerry Yates. The ball is really good, actually. It was from the Blackpool centre-back. Husband lofted a ball up to Jerry Yates, and it was a really good ball. And in the end, good awareness from Alex Palmer in the Lincoln City goal to be aware to the situation and get himself out. But Jerry Yates is going to be a big danger man, isn't he, today for Blackpool? Of course, Elliot Sims not actually playing today. He's out of this game, which is a real shame for him because, of course, this season he's been very influential for Blackpool. But going to be a chance here for Morgan Rogers. Plays the ball into Brennan Johnson, who tries to hit the ball into the box. And in the end, he's only really got no one, apart from one player. I think Hopper's in the box and the ball goes wide of the mark. But a very lively start. Really, really good energy from the two wingers. And we're seeing the own goal again as the ball's lobbed in. And Turton there, I mean, Maxwell doesn't cover himself in glory much, to be honest. I thought there he's got to get at least a touch on the ball. And I think maybe Turton was relying on the fact that Maxwell was going to get a touch on the ball. And I don't think Turton could have actually done much there, to be honest with you. Could have been a very different situation had Maxwell got something on it at the very least. But in the end, I guess you've just got to continue on. Try and get that equaliser in this game. And see if you can push forward in this match. Of course, we've had some very good games at the weekend. Champions League final yesterday. Good win for Chelsea. Not the most entertaining game in the world, but at least Chelsea were able to lift the trophy at the very end of the night. I think there are a lot of people out there not wanting Man City to win it. But who are you guys backing today in the chat? You'll have to tell us. Are you backing Blackpool or are you backing Lincoln? Be interesting to see what happens in this game as we continue on. And then Kurt obviously saying, Man U in pot 2. You are indeed, yes. You're in pot 2 next year. So you've got yourself in the good side of the pot where you're going to miss the likes of Barca and Real and that. So certainly a good positive indeed. But looking at Lincoln's playoff record, and it's something that's been brought up quite a lot actually ahead of this game today. Lincoln's record in playoffs, they've had 7 appearances in the playoffs. They've been in 3 finals, never been promoted from the playoffs in their history. They've got a bit of a Brentford run. Of course, Brentford had featured in 9 playoffs and 4 finals and had never won any. But going to be a chance here for Mitchell to drive forward. Tries to flick a ball into the box, and it's good defending from the striker, Tom Hopper, who just gets his body in front of Mitchell. And the ball goes out of play for a Blackpool corner. And this is going to be the first real opportunity for Blackpool from a set piece. They've got good players who can reach the ball. And actually, when you look, most goals from corners in League One, they've got the 3rd most goals this season. Blackpool, 12 goals from corners. Wigan with the most with 14. Can they make it 13? Unlucky for some, but it'd be lucky for Blackpool if Luke Garbutt can put in an in-swinging ball. Ball's lofted into the box, and in the end, it's cleared away by Walsh. And a very comfortably dealt with set piece there as Blackpool try and reinvigorate the attack with a terrible, terrible ball. I don't know whose husband's seen there, but he's tried to go for the long ball to the left-hand side and try and play it into the path of Anderson. But the pass is just way too weak. Doesn't get anywhere near Anderson. And in the end, Lincoln City have got themselves a very, very cheap and very easy throw-in in their own half. And a good chance to just calm down the play here. As we're just seeing Tom Hopper. 11 goals this season, a career best for him. Which I guess as a striker isn't too bad. Obviously want a little bit more out of him. I think 11 goals isn't bad, but it could be improved upon. But I think Lincoln, what they've got is they've got a good team that spreads goals around. You know, Hodge Grant this season scored a fair few. We've seen, of course, the likes of Rogers and Johnson get a few goals here and there. It is a very evenly spread team in terms of goals. But there's a chance here for an opportunity for Mitchell to go through on goal. He tries to get to the edge of the box and curl it into the bottom right-hand corner. But in the end, I think Mitchell there just doing a little bit too much. Trying to really take on the Lincoln City defence. And in the end, Jerry Yates is calling for it. Specifically as well, Elliot Embleton, who's got a lot of space in the midfield, is screaming for the ball. And in the end, Mitchell, of course, seeing the headlines, just takes on the shot on his own, and it's poor from him in the end. But he's trying his hardest, and first 15 minutes, I think he has been the most probably creative player on the pitch, trying to get things moving for Blackpool. And I just feel here that the next goal is going to be really key in this game. Here's Mitchell on the ball now, trying to take on the Lincoln defence again, and this time the referee gives Mitchell the benefit of the doubt, and a free kick to Blackpool at the halfway line. And I don't know who the referee is today. I know, of course, the Championship match we had yesterday, we had the Premier League official Chris Kavanagh, but I don't recognise the referee for anyone who's wondering on Ref Watch today, because I couldn't possibly tell you. If anybody knows who it is, then do tell us in the chat. But ball gone towards Jerry Yates, who's inside the box on the left wing. Ball then played into the path of Anderson. And a thumbs up from Garbett there, who'd also made a running run forward. And we're going to get another corner for Blackpool, I think. And it's good pressure here from Blackpool. Done really, really well to refocus themselves, reorganise. And it's one long ball to Jerry Yates. And a good run in the end. It was actually Luke Garbett who'd made the run. And just got themselves a corner, I think. Just trying to see here whether it does ricochet. It might have actually come off Garbett's foot in the end. And I think the referee's actually given a corner. So corner's given to Blackpool. He's lobbed into the box. Comes out towards Kevin Stewart, who finds himself in a 50-50. And the referee's giving the advantage to Kevin Stewart there. And there will be a free kick here for Blackpool. About 35 yards out on the right-hand side. Not one of those positions where you'd be shooting. But a really, really good 50-50 there. I think Kevin Stewart had to get the ball back there. Real massive risk of the chance of Lincoln City breaking away. And they've got a free kick now. Can they get themselves a goal here? One of the players stood over the ball is Luke Garbett. And this is going to be an in-swinging ball again. And needs to be a good one. So Garbett lobs it in. And it's a poor cross in the end. Nobody there to get the ball towards. He's tried to go for the near post. And I don't think it was a good ball whatsoever there from Blackpool. And that's twice now from the set pieces where they've not really done a great deal with it and struggled a little bit, I've got to say. But it's going to stay in Lincoln's half because they've got a throw in here, Blackpool. And Lincoln City, I think, have got to be careful because they've played really well in that first 10 minutes. But now they're finding themselves incredibly deep. Blackpool starting to pressurise them, push numbers forward. And if they can get an equaliser, I think, before half-time, then there are going to be questions asked of Lincoln. As much as there's going to be questions asked of Blackpool, I think right now they're in a very good position here. The technical home side. Of course, neither of them technically at home today. Long ball towards Jerry Yates. On the right wing, calls for handball, which the linesman flags for. And it will be a handball. And I think they're also giving offside as well there. So 2 for 1. As Sean has found out the referee. Thank you, Sean. He says, Tony Harrington is the referee for today's game. And then Bobby Madley is the referee tomorrow for the League 2 final. So there we go. We know who's refereeing the games now. Because I usually get asked in the chat who's refereeing in these types of games. But Jerry Yates, I think we've seen the danger in the first 20 minutes. That's twice now where the ball's been lofted long to Yates. And although he was flagged for handball in that instance, I think we've seen now twice where Lincoln are going to have to be aware of the danger. And just make sure that they keep an eye out on Jerry Yates here because he's going to have a lot of opportunities to break forward in this game. And we know he only needs one chance to put the ball in the back of the net. Here's Dougal, though, at the halfway line. Going to play it into Mitchell. And Blackpool just going to calm down the play for a second here. As we slowly approach the 20th minute of the game. We're already nearly halfway through, which is quite surprising. I would have thought that, you know, this game's gone very, very quickly so far. But Kurt's saying, I think 0 red cards and 5 yellow now. I'm guessing in terms of the game, is that your prediction for the cards? Here's Embleton. Trying to push forward, plays the ball into Anderson. And in the end, going to be a free kick here for Blackpool. And this is a much more promising position. It's in the middle of the pitch. Probably about, I'd say, 25, 30 yards out. And this is a few opportunities now where Blackpool have had set pieces. And they really need to make the most of it. And this is in a position where I think you can have a go on a goal. You know, I would say about 35, 30 yards out. And Luke Garber loves the set piece. We know it already. That's 3 times now where he's been the front man to take the set piece. Could he maybe get this ball into the back of the net and send Wembley into pure eruption for Blackpool fans? It's going to be Garber. Goes for goal, and in the end, the free kick is straight into the hands of Alex Palmer in the Lincoln goal. And the former Plymouth goalkeeper has got himself into a very good position so far. And funnily enough, you know, Blackpool haven't been in the Championship for a few years now. When you actually look at both teams and how they've progressed over the last few years, Blackpool, of course, have regressed. We saw them a few years ago in the Premier League with the likes of Charlie Adam. And then, of course, they've slowly moved down the leagues. However, for the opposite, for Lincoln, of course, they were in the National League a few years ago and now find themselves one game away from the Championship. So both teams having quite opposite kind of years. Some teams regressing, one team progressing. But either way, I think both teams now in a very, very good position. And I think whoever does lose this game has got a very good chance of going up next season. Of course, it's going to be a very interesting season in League One, isn't it? We've got a lot of big teams down there. Sunderland going to be staying down next season. Sheffield Wednesday coming down after relegation. Rotherham United back in League One again. We've got Ipswich as well. We've got Charlton. Whoever loses this game, it is going to be a very, very competitive league next year. And it's going to be very exciting to see how it goes. There's a lot of big clubs down there, all fighting to get back up into the Championship. And I think League One is going to be a league to look out for, because there's going to be a lot of big clubs desperate to go back up. Let's not forget Wigan as well, being taken over. They'll want to try and push towards promotion and the playoffs with the money that they're going to spend. So there is going to be a lot of teams next year, and I think if you are one of these two, you really don't want to be down in that scrap next season, because there are 7, 8, 9 teams that will all be vying for the top 6 spots, top 7 spots in League One. And there's going to be a few big clubs that miss out. And you don't want to be that club next season that's down there. Of course, as a Rotherham fan, I am not looking forward to playing some of the teams next season, but I'm also at the same time. I guess there's going to be a lot of big games, isn't there, each week, which makes it exciting. But in these last 5 minutes, they're just showing on Sky, 88% possession for Blackpool. They've really dominated the ball in the last few minutes, but they just haven't really done much with it. And Lincoln, for now, with that 1-0 lead, quite happy to hold on to that 1-0 lead. Not really wasting time or anything. They want to try and get a second and get themselves into a position similar to Brentford yesterday. But there are signs that both defences could be opened up, which would make for a very good game if they were to be opened up. But we'll have to see as the game does continue on. But I see there's 60 of you in the stream. Thank you very much for joining. If you are new and you have enjoyed the stream so far, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. We are covering all the playoffs this weekend. We covered the Championship final yesterday. We've got the League One playoff final today. And then, of course, tomorrow we've got the League Two playoff final, which is Morecambe-Newport. And then after that, of course, we've got the Euros to come. So it's going to be a fantastic few weeks of Euros action coming up, including some big games like England and Croatia, and then the likes of France up against Portugal. Should be a belter of a tournament over the next few weeks. But as for now, we are 24 minutes into this game, or about to hit the 24th minute. And it is 1-0 as it stands to Lincoln City, courtesy of a Blackpool own goal from Elliot Turton. And Blackpool slowly getting themselves back into this game, but they need to watch out, because here comes an opportunity for Hodge Grant. And that is a brilliant opportunity which hits the crossbar, I believe. And a real dangerous opportunity for George Grant. And one of the players that has got quality gets the ball at the edge of the box. He tries to curl the ball into the top right-hand corner. Maxwell is pretty much beaten, but in the end, it's just not got enough dip on it to ricochet off the bar and go in. And that was a cracking chance for George Grant. And it just goes wide of the mark. And a little warning sign there for Blackpool, who, for the last few minutes, have really had the possession of this game. But they need to make sure that they're fully aware today, because there are going to be opportunities where Lincoln are going to come forward and maybe even get themselves a goal in this game. And if they were to do that and make it 2-0, then it is going to make things very, very tricky for the rest of this game for Blackpool to get back into it. But we'll have to see whether or not they can get a goal soon, because we've got a good chunk of time left. Here is Blackpool, though, on the ball. Going to be right now on the left wing position. Embleton lofts the ball into the box. Header gets towards Anderson, and he does get his head on the ball, but in the end, it's not a great header whatsoever. It's just a little bit too heavy. Goes over the bar, over the post. Alex Palmer's really not got much to do there, and it's a pretty weak opportunity. Very similar to the chance we had from the corner which Lincoln had not too long ago, when they had the corner, and I think really should have done better when Walsh had the header. But KD, how you doing, mate? He's put here he is. Look at the shagger on the screen. How you doing, mate? Hope you're all good. Hope you're feeling better, mates. Very good start to this game. A very lively start. I think, of course, with that goal going in the first 50 seconds, it has made this very, very lively. And I think it would have been a lively game regardless of whether the goal went in or not in the first 50 seconds or not. But realistically, both teams really going for it. It's end-to-end. Maybe a little bit more of Blackpool in the last 10 or 15 minutes than Lincoln. But I guess when you've got the 1-0 lead, there's not as much pressure to go out there and get yourself another goal on the board. And I think Michael Apperton will be very happy so far with how his side have played. They played it really well, really organised. And Blackpool so far, I think Neil Critchley will be a little bit disappointed. But there might be a chance here for Jerry Yates. Ball flicked into the box. Could be a chance here. Ball. Brilliant save by Mitchell as he whacks the ball into the path of Alex Palmer. And I think maybe if Mitchell had been able to curl that a little bit more, he might have got that ball into the back of the net. But he went for power rather than accuracy. And Alex Palmer probably has a fairly simple save in the end. But it's a really good opportunity for Blackpool. It comes from Jerry Yates in the box on the left wing. Brilliant ball to Mitchell. And as I said, he's gone for power rather than accuracy. And he gets the power on it in the end. But he just can't find either of the corners of the goal. And Alex Palmer does have a pretty decent and simple save to make. But encouragement for Blackpool and encouragement for the Tangerine Army as they slowly try to put the pressure on. And they're going to come forward again here. It's going to be Elliot Embleton into Luke Garbutt, who tries to flick a ball into the box. It doesn't get to him in the end. And they will get a free kick here, Lincoln. And a chance maybe to breathe here after what has been a fairly relentless 5 or 10 minutes where Blackpool have really been putting the pressure on them. But I'd be interested to look at the stats for Lincoln, because they've not really offered much in this last half an hour, apart from that one opportunity which turned into the goal. I think they're trying to play on the counter. And I guess, and exactly as they've just said on commentary, it's a dangerous game to play. You know, with a 1-0 lead, I think in playoff finals, it's probably not what you want at a 1-0 lead. I think you do want to go out there and do what Brentford did yesterday. You know, go and get yourself 2 goals, put yourself into a comfortable position, cause the opposition side to have to come out, play, push numbers forward, which will allow you to get on the counter-attack. But we'll have to see how Lincoln do, because they're so far, I think they've done all right, I guess. I'd say they've done all right. There's still going to be some work to do, isn't there, realistically speaking? But on the counter-attack, they could have easily had a 2-0 lead if George Grant had been able to put his brilliant strike into the back of the net. But I think Lincoln City are going to have a throw-in in the attacking half of play. And can they get something from it? Ball with McGrandles. Played into Johnson. Might be an opportunity for the ball to be flicked into the box. Tries to get it towards Tom Hopper, but I think the flag has gone up anyway for an offside, which it has done indeed. And we just see now Hopper, yes, was offside. Very simple decision for the linesman. It's a very fractional decision, but it's the right one in the end. And regardless of whether the ball had got to him or not, the flag has gone up. And Blackpool are saved for the day. But we're seeing on the bench there, Ellis Sims, had a big season, hasn't he, at Blackpool? But unfortunately, just hasn't been able to get into the game today. Last kick of the game in training, injures himself, and he was going to start as well, which is a real shame because Neil Critchley had him in the lineup today, and I wonder whether or not maybe he could have made a difference in this first half an hour or so. Was Rude Boy's in the building? How are you doing, Rude Boy? Hope you're good, mate. Welcome along to the stream. Hope you're good as always. And, I mean, if you're Ellis Sims, you're gutted. All the hard work you've done. And in the end, now you find yourself in a position where you can't play in the playoff final. It's a awful, awful thing. But I guess at least he might know whether his side are going to be up or not. I mean, right now they're not going up, but he'll still be a part of the celebrations if Blackpool can go on and win this game. Going to be a corner here, though, for Lincoln. Luke Garbett finding himself in a little bit of a fight right now with Brennan Johnson. Of course, we already know Luke Garbett on a yellow card. Going to be some pressure on him. And in the end, I think actually the linesman's giving it as a throw-in instead. And yeah, it is a throw-in. I don't know what was going on there. But throw-in's given to Lincoln City. And they're just finding themselves really struggling right now to get into the box. They're going to try and play it out from the back. Here is Ioma. Plays the ball into Walsh. Tries to hit it long into the path of Rogers. Tries to go for the touch. And in the end, it's Eden has to come forward and try and get the touch. And then the ball does go out of play. And it will be a goal kick. As well as, I think, an offside flag going up by the linesman anyway. As you see the run from Eden. And I think that's a marginal decision there from the referee. But I don't think it would have mattered anyway. Because Eden was not getting a touch on the ball. Regardless of whether the linesman's flag had gone up or not. But the fans are getting louder. I think there's more belief in this stadium that Blackpool can get something back. If you're a Lincoln fan, I think you're quite happy with the 1-0 lead. But the pressure's beginning to build now. And Neil Critchley, let's not forget, former Liverpool under-23 manager. He's had quite a interesting spell in charge of Blackpool. You know, we said earlier this season he was lingering towards the relegation zone back in October. And there were questions being asked of whether Blackpool were ever going to be able to make it back to the Championship. But what they've done over the last few months is incredible. To go from being in the bottom end of the table to finishing third is an achievement and a half. And credit to them for the work that Neil Critchley and the team have done. And here they are on the ball now, Blackpool, at the edge of the box. It's going to be a chance here for them to push forward. Here's Kevin Stewart. Ball lofted in the box, trying to get towards Jerry Yates, but the cross in the end is just a little bit too heavy from Elliot Embleton. And Jerry Yates, unless he's 10 foot tall, he's not going to get his head onto that. And Lincoln and Alex Palmer will get themselves a goal kick. But Neil Critchley, as he said before, led Blackpool to its highest finish in the league for 6 years. So credit to him, because we know, I think a lot of fans out there, we love going to Blackpool Stadium, especially on an away day trip. Any excuse to go to Blackpool is always a good one. But I think I've got to say that Blackpool over the last few years have struggled massively. I think they've always been one of those teams that have got the potential to make the playoffs or go up. And they've just never been able to do it. But what Neil Critchley's done is brilliant. But there's a chance here for Jerry Yates. He drives forward. It's a 3-on-2. Two Blackpool players. Elliot Embleton at the edge of the box. Tries to get round his man. Ball comes back to him again. There's calls for handball on a Blackpool player. Comes to Kenny Dougal. Goes for long range effort. And Kenny Dougal puts it in. And the Tangerines are back in this game. And there were calls for handball, but Kenny, big Kenny, has got a big goal for Blackpool, and the Tangerines have just erupted Wembley. It's 1-1, and it's a massive, massive goal, and it's been coming, and for all the work that Lincoln have done, and they've sat back, they've tried to counter-attack, and in the end, they just haven't been able to hold on, and just like that, a deserved goal for Blackpool. They're right back in this game, and it's Kenny Dougal who gets the goal, but it starts with Jerry Yates. He wins the ball back. It's a 3-on-2 between him. He gets Elliot Embleton up. Embleton gets the ball. The ball ricochets back to Embleton again from one of the defenders. He lays it off to Kenny Dougal, who goes for the long-range effort just outside the box. It's a good, powerful, low-driven effort into the bottom left-hand corner. And in the end, he hits the target. A good finish from him. And goal in the back of the net. Game on in this match. And just like that, we have a game. It's Blackpool 1, Lincoln 1. We should have an absolute firecracker still to come. And look, there were calls for handball, as I said before. A few players questioning the decision of the referee there, whether that should have counted as a goal or not because of the handball. But when you actually look, it is accidental. There's not much that could have been done there in terms of the player moving out of the way. I think the referee is right to give the goal. And just like that, Blackpool back in the match. 1-1, and we've got a game on our hands now, as you would expect. Should be a belter this game, as Cal's just put in the chat. I'm going to head off, going to head into town soon. Enjoy the rest of the match and have a good day all, and see you next time. I'll leave a little present for you. Thank you very much, Carl. Hope you have a good time out in town on this nice warm Sunday, and we will see you at some point, probably tomorrow, for the playoff final. Take care, friend. And as he's put the links in the chat, as he always does, the absolute legend. As Blackpool looking to come forward again here. Ball lofted to Anderson. But the cross is just a little bit too heavy. And it's over to Lincoln now. They've got to respond. They can't sit back now and try and defend because they haven't got anything to defend for. And Lincoln City have got some work to do here. Because Blackpool have played really, really well. They've responded so well, haven't they, Blackpool? You know, instantly, one of those games where the goal went in, the heads could have dropped instantly, and the doubts could have crept in, but they've done so well to claw themselves back into this match. And the table has turned on its head here. And with 10 minutes of the game, the Blackpool fans now, with pure delight, and you can hear them more than the Lincoln fans because they know that they are in a really, really good position in this game. And Kenny Dougal again, of course, scoring in the playoff semi-finals, gets another goal to his name. But here comes Lincoln. It's going to be Johnson who comes forward. Dougal with a foul. Lincoln City free kick. And maybe now an opportunity for Lincoln City here to get something from the set piece. And I'll tell you something. We've seen Morgan Rogers and Brennan Johnson. They are dangerous players to defend against. They've got so much pace, which is why we've already seen Luke Garbett struggle a little bit with them. And specifically Brennan Johnson, who has run rings on that right-hand side when he's got forward. But there's going to be a free kick here. Similar position to the one that they got earlier in the game, which Walsh headed over the bar. Can they make it 2-1 and take the lead again? Ball's lobbed into the box. Comes to the edge of the box. Shot taken on by Eden. And in the end, well, the shot was a little bit too high and wide. And it was in a very similar position to the chance that Kenny Dougal had to put the ball in the back of the net. And Eden this time, he just goes for power rather than accuracy. And it's always going high and wide of the mark. And with 8 minutes left of this first half, the Tangerine Army, the Blackpool fans, are the ones in full voice. And it could be a brilliant, brilliant end to the first half if they could get another goal because they've got a chance to come forward here and the ball eventually just got to play for a Lincoln City throw-in. Sorry, it's actually gone as Blackpool throw-in in the end. But Blackpool, there'll be so many clubs in the Championship and League One desperate to see them in either of their leagues next season for the trip away as ball lofted into the box from Anderson. Tries to get it towards Mitchell, who'd made him run into the middle of the pitch. But good defending by Walsh, who clears the ball away. And it really does feel like Lincoln are defending for their lives here. It does genuinely feel like Lincoln are still in the lead and Blackpool are pushing all the numbers forward to get a goal. But it's not. You know, it's 1-1. But Blackpool looks so much stronger in this game. And I think Michael Appleton's going to have some work to do at half-time because right now they just cannot seem to get a touch of the ball. And when they do, they're not doing a great deal with it. And they're getting completely closed down by Neil Critchley's side. And Lincoln City, as we said before, they have had their experiences in playoff finals time and time again. They've never won one. Blackpool have got that experience in the finals. You'll remember the Championship playoff final a few years ago where Charlie Adam turned up and had an absolute wonder game. That's a great example of one of the many experiences Blackpool have had, but here they come on the ball now. It's going to be a chance for Dimitri Mitchell to come forward. Calls for a foul on Anderson, which the referee waves away. And Lincoln, with the ball all the way back to Alex Palmer, are going to try and hit on the break instantly here. And they've got to watch out. There's been a lot of sloppy balls from the Lincoln side in their own half. A lot of chances where Jerry Yates has been able to get onto the ball and try and lead Blackpool on the attack. I mean, that's twice now where the ball will come back to Yates. But just seeing Dougal's goal, it's a clean strike. And Palmer, he does get a slight fingertip to it. But he just can't quite react quick enough to get the ball away from his goal. And then Kenny Dougal, massive goal for him. But there's another chance here. And just as we were seeing the highlight of the goal, Elliot Embleton had taken on one from a very similar position from Dougal, but the ball this time landed into the hands of Alex Palmer. Comfortable save in the end. And Blackpool here just been given way too much time and space. And I tell you something, with the way that this game is going right now, if you are a Blackpool fan, you just feel like here, everything is going your way. As we enter the final 5 minutes of the first half. There's nearly 100 of you in the building. Hope you're all good. Welcome along. Lincoln 1, Blackpool 1. If you've missed it and you just want a quick catch up on all the action, the first goal came in the 52nd. Own goal by Taunton in the 52nd of the game. Put Lincoln into the lead. But ever since then, Blackpool have been on the front foot pretty much for the entirety of the match. And it was a goal from Kenny Dougal from outside the box to get them back into this game and make it 1-1. As Noel Simon Murphy, how you doing, mate? Has said, come on the pool. Wants to see Blackpool get promoted. And I'm not going to lie, I want to see Blackpool promoted as well. As the ball's lofted into the box, it comes towards the path of Mitchell, who goes for the header. And this time it's a much stronger header on the ball from Mitchell. And we spoke about him earlier. He's got a really good aerial threat, Mitchell. He's had a few good opportunities on headers. And this time, he tries to get his header towards the bottom right-hand corner, and it just doesn't get enough swerve on the ball. It's a comfortable save for Alex Palmer in the end, but they've got to watch out here, Lincoln. I'll get the stats up at half-time, but I will tell you something. I think you'd probably be having about, maybe 8, 9, 10 chances for Blackpool, and probably maybe 2 or 3 for Lincoln if you're lucky. I don't think they've had a shot on target in the game, if I'm correct. But they're starved of the ball right now. And that's exactly what they're saying on commentary. Just no opportunities coming from the front three. And we saw it very similarly yesterday in the Brentford game. The front three of Jamal Lowe, Andre Ayew, and Connor Roberts. They had a similar situation yesterday where they were starved of opportunities. Didn't have an actual opportunity on target, Swansea, yesterday. And with the way that this game has gone, it's a very similar story. Blackpool doing very, very well to hold the ball, make the most of the opportunities. And Lincoln struggling to get anything in the game. And Neil Critchley will feel he's in complete control. And the stats have just come up on the screen now. 7 shots, 6 on target for Blackpool. 3 shots, none on target for Lincoln, with the goal, of course, from Lincoln. That's got to change, hasn't it, at the second half? Because with the way you're playing, you ain't scoring if you're Lincoln. And Blackpool right now, very, very well in this game. Looking like they're going to maybe bang in a few more goals. As Russ has asked in the chat, he says, which team are you looking forward to playing next season as a Miller, mate? Ooh. I'm looking forward to playing Plymouth. I think Plymouth Argyle is going to be an interesting one. We know what they're like with their attacking play. I'm excited to play them next season. I think I'm really looking forward to playing Wednesday, of course, just because it's a derby at the very least. Doncaster as well. It'll be fun to play. But of course, I think the one everybody wants to play is Sunderland, isn't it? The Stadium of Light, Rotherham v Sunderland will be an interesting game. We've had a few spats in the past in the Championship. And I'm kind of excited to see how that goes down when we play them next season. So, yeah, I think Sunderland and Plymouth, for me, are 2 of the ones. Wigan as well, actually. I think Wigan are going to be exciting to play. I do like Wigan as a side. But there's so many teams, isn't there, in League One next season? You got Charlton's. You're obviously going to have one of these 2 teams down there next season. It's going to be an interesting one. And I'm excited to play a lot of teams. As Louis in the building. How are you doing, Louis? Oh, you're good, mate. He says Pookie's going to be top goal scorer at the Euros. Stick your money on it, Louis. Might win a good bit of cash there. Wayne saying always better in the second half, Lincoln. Trust me, very fit side. And you're not wrong, because when you actually look back at Lincoln's records in the past, a lot of goals in Lincoln's games against Blackpool have come at the back end of the match. Of course, they beat them twice this season, Lincoln. Unbeaten in the last two. 3-2 in the first game back in October last year. And then the last game they played in April was a 2-2 draw. So they do have a tendency to score goals quite late against Blackpool. And as Wayne said, very, very fit side in terms of the players that they've got on the pitch. They've got a strong depth as well on the bench. Anthony Scully, one of the players that will come on at some point and make a difference. So I really do think Lincoln will come out in the second half, all guns blazing. But so will Blackpool, no doubt. As Ednam saying, come on Blackpool. Buzzing, of course, with the score right now, no doubt. As Blackpool have got themselves a free kick here. Let's see what happens here. Ball's going to be lofted into the box. Embleton whips it in. Gets it towards the near post. Comes out. Trying to get it into the path of Kevin Stewart. But Kevin Stewart completely manhandles his man. And that's going to be the easiest free kick the referee's going to have to give all day long. And it's going to be a free kick for Lincoln City. As we go into additional time, there's going to be 1 minute on the clock. And it looks like we're going to be going in at half-time at 1-1. And Blackpool have played so well so far, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Lou's asked any bets today. No, I haven't, and it's a shame because I should have probably put the money on today for this game because I was going to go both teams to score in both halves, but I didn't. So maybe I'll put one on for Morecambe Newport tomorrow. But apart from that, that's it really. I haven't really had any bets on today. Really quiet day, isn't it? But we're into the last 30 seconds here. It's been a very, very good game so far if you're a Blackpool fan. If you're a Lincoln fan, I think you'll be a little bit worried if you played in the first half. But as you said in the chat, Wayne, they're a very, very good side, very fit. Scored a lot of goals in the second half of games. And I think we will see a much better Lincoln side in the second half than what we have in the first. Blackpool, though, will they maybe rue a few misses in this game, a few opportunities that they have had? Will they rue the opportunities? As the referee blows the whistle for half-time, and Blackpool find themselves not on the front foot in terms of the scoreline, but definitely on the front foot in this game. And it all started in the 50th second when Ollie Turton put the ball into the back of his own net after a cross from Brennan Johnson into the box. It landed in Turton's feet and he put the ball into the back of the net. But Kenny Dougal got himself a goal back into the game. Blackpool have been dominating for pretty much the majority of the 45 minutes. It was an outside of the box shot, really good low-driven effort, which Alex Palmer did get a slight touch on the ball, but in the end he just wasn't able to keep the ball out of the back of the net. And in the end, Kenny Dougal with a goal about 25-30 minutes on the clock. And ever since then, Blackpool have dominated the game, tried to get another goal in this match. Lincoln City have had no shots on target in the entirety of the first half, and they know there's going to be some work to do, and I would expect Michael Apperton's half-time team talk to be quite an interesting one, because he's going to have a lot of things to say in that. But as for Neil Critchley, he'll be absolutely delighted with how his team have played out the game so far. They've played it intricately well. Loads of opportunities in the game. And if they can come out in the second half and play a little bit differently, then we'll have to see whether or not they can maybe get a few more goals in the game. But as for now, it is going to be half-time, 1-1 in this game. And we'll have a look at some of the stuff coming up in a few moments' time. But very quickly, Louis Ashton's asked me in the chat, let me see if you know your stadiums. Who plays at the Technique Stadium? I believe it's... Is it Chesterfield, I think? It might be Chesterfield, because I swear I recognise... Did they play at home yesterday against Halifax in the playoffs? But I think it's Chesterfield who play at the Technique Stadium, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm wrong, but you'll have to tell me in the chat, Louis. But talking about things coming up on the channel over the next few days, if you are new to the stream, there's 100 of you in the building right now. If you've enjoyed it, we do a host of EFL Watchalongs, and we will be doing more EFL Watchalongs next season. So if you're a big fan of the Championship, League One, League Two, then I highly recommend sticking about on the channel. But in terms of other content to come over the next few days, we've got the second half of Blackpool and Lincoln to come in about 10 to 15 minutes time, so do stick around for that. Your bank holiday Monday, we've got the last playoff final, Morecambe taking on Newport County. That's from 2:55. That'll be live tomorrow. Should be a brilliant game, that one. We've got the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That's next week, 6th of June. You can join Rome for that 10 minutes before the race starts at 12:50. And then the party starts. The Euros begin. Turkey versus Italy. The first match of the Euros. You can join us from the 11th of July at 5 to 8 for that one. And then the game afterwards on the 12th of July, Wales versus Switzerland. Group A gets underway. What a group that one is. Group of death, that one, I guess you could say. That is from 1:55 on the 12th of June, as we cover as many of the games in the Euros as we possibly can. We are aiming to try and cover 90% of the games. We're going to have at least one match a day, sometimes two, and hopefully we should have a very, very good Euros over the next few weeks and over the next month, because that's what we've got, isn't it? But in between, there'll also be a few A-League streams here and there, so if you're a big fan of the Australian League, then do stick about. Rowan will be covering the back end of the season there, but apart from that, there isn't really many league games going on anymore. This is kind of the last weekend of league action, and then we are going to take a week or two's break before the Euros do start, so very exciting indeed. But in terms of the game, 1-1 at half-time in this match between Blackpool and Lincoln City. If you are a Blackpool fan or a Lincoln fan, do tell us what you're feeling in the chat right now, because I think if you're a Blackpool fan, you're absolutely buzzing with how you've played in this first half. You've dominated the game. You've had so many opportunities, a lot on target, and maybe you could have had a 2-1 lead, maybe more. But I think the chances that were on target, a few of them were outside the box efforts or headers that maybe could have been a little bit better. But look, I think 1-1 in the game, Blackpool will be delighted with that. As for Lincoln City, yeah, there's work to do, isn't there, really? Not done much in the game. The goal set the tone for the match, which I like, in the 50th second. But realistically, since then, I don't think Lincoln have kicked on. I think they've struggled massively in this game to get anything going. Whether Michael Appleton makes an early change or not, I don't know. I doubt he will. I think he'll keep it nice and calm for now and not make any changes. But look, we'll have a look at the benches in a moment, and we'll see who could come on and maybe make a difference for both of the sides. But if you do want to keep up to date as well when we do go live on our YouTube channel, then I highly do recommend checking out our social media. As you can see on the screen, this is our social media. Our Twitter is @the_top corner. Link is in the description as always. Highly do recommend checking that out if you want to know what we're doing on the channel and when we go live. We also have our Instagram, which we don't use as much these days, I'm not going to lie, but if you do want to use that, we do post from time to time on there, so I would recommend checking it out. That is @the_sportscorner_. Do go and check that out if you want to find out when we go live. And then we've also got our website as well, which we are going to try and use a little bit more over the summer period. We do articles on there over a whole host of different sports. If you want to go and check that out, that is the sports-corner.com. There's not much on there recently, but we're going to try and update it as much as we can over the summer. So if you do want to find some articles based on a whole host of events in football, then do go and check it out. Well worth checking it out if you want to have some half-time reading. But let's have a look at the teams at half-time. Let's see who's on the bench that could maybe make a difference. And I think let's start with the Lincoln side, because that's the most obvious one where I think we'll see a few changes. And there's one obvious player on the bench for me that will probably come on at some point, and that is Anthony Scully. I think he's one of those players for Lincoln this season that has had a lot of work, has really helped them out to be in the fight for the playoffs and to make the final. And I think at some point we will see Anthony Scully come on. Very quick player, very good rapid player, got good skills about him, and I do think maybe it might be worth seeing him in this match. Whether he can make the difference or not, I don't know, but I don't think we'll see the changes early in this game for Lincoln. I think they will wait, 10 or 15 minutes before they do make any changes, because I think they could get back into the match, but the tone right now, they need something in this game to change it up. Maybe a little bit more creativity in the team, which is mad to say, because there is creativity all over the park in that team, if I'm being honest with you. And then when you look at the Blackpool side, of course, Blackpool not really going to make any changes yet. Gary Medine is the most obvious player on the bench who could come on at some point if needed. But right now, with the way that Blackpool are, I don't think they need to bring on any more forwards in the game. I think they're really, really well organised. Anderson and Mitchell have been causing loads of problems for the Lincoln back line. Jerry Yates as well has been a brilliant player in this game. I think he has had menacing moments when the ball's been hoofed long to him. He's just been an absolute menace so far for them. So I don't think we'll see any changes from Blackpool yet. But there might be a few changes to be made from Lincoln. We'll have to find out when the second half does get underway. But I am going to take a quick break for the moment, take a few minutes break to quickly get myself sorted out, have a quick toilet break. That gives you guys a chance to have a quick toilet break as well. So what I'm going to do is just quickly show you guys we do have the Sports Corner Premium on the channel. It is something we're going to look to use a little bit more in the next few months. We did have somebody join us earlier, Pauline, who joined us on the Sports Corner Premium, so thank you very much indeed. So if you want to find out what Sports Corner Premium brings, we're going to show that on the screen now. Otherwise, we're going to have a quick break afterwards, and then we'll get back underway with the second half of action. So grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself a drink, or if you're a Blackpool fan or a Lincoln fan, grab yourself the beers because you might need them in 45 minutes. And then we'll be back with the second half in a few moments' time. But here's a look at what you can get with your Sports Corner Premium subscription that you could get today. Take a look at this. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me for this press conference today. Now, you're probably wondering why I have announced this press conference at halftime of your stream. And first of all, I want to say, on the Sports Corner, for months now, we have been thinking of introducing a premium service for our loyal viewers, where you guys can pay a small fee to get involved with a whole host of exclusive bonus features and content that other viewers can't get. And I am today, as the manager of the Sports Corner, delighted to announce that the Sports Corner Premium is now available on our YouTube channel. Now, I've got people on this side of the room, some journalists asking me how much is it going to cost, and I can tell you it's only going to cost you £4.99 a month, and there'll only ever be one level so everybody can get involved for the right price. And there's a few journalists on this side of the room also asking me, well, what features do you get as part of your subscription? And I can tell you, my friend, that some of the features will involve exclusive badges, which are based on tiers, and you will get new badges based on your 1st, 3rd, 6th, 9th, 12th and 24th month as part of our Sports Corner Premium package. And that does involve in your 24th month getting a very exclusive Sports Corner Gold badge that only a few will get into that exclusive club. Could you be the first? And then also we will be doing some exclusive streams on our channel. These will involve new podcasts available for our members, as well as darting streams where I'll play some of you guys on our live streams. On top of gaming streams, these will involve sport-orientated games, including the likes of FIFA and Football Manager. But those streams will only be available to our members for £4.99. There'll be a range of other big features that we'll be announcing in the coming months that will be in our community section of the channel. And we'll also have, of course, other features. These will involve playing some of you guys in FIFA and darts when we're not live, as well as also giving you the option of having a few shouts outs on stream. So don't forget, £4.99 is all that you need to pay for exclusive Sports Corner Premium package. Why not be the first to join today? And who knows, you could be the first to get the Sports Corner crown. So thank you, everybody, for attending my press conference. I'm out. And we are back ahead of the second half. Thank you very much for everybody that did wait there. Of course, showed the advert a second ago with the Sports Corner Premium. As we said, it's something we are looking to work towards in the future. Get more content up on there for you guys who are paying for that extra subscription. Of course, if you do want to join us, the button below, you've got the join button. If you want to join us on there, of course, it's your choice. You don't have to. But we've had a brilliant game so far, 1-1 as it stands, in this match between Blackpool and Lincoln. Lincoln not being great in this game, but doing enough to go into the break at 1-1. And I think there is work to do for Lincoln. I think they've got to go out there in this second half, and they've got to attack the game. I think that's exactly what Blackpool have been doing. They've attacked the game. They've put Lincoln under some pressure. And right now, it's just caused Lincoln, just a whole host of problems, hasn't it, realistically speaking? They've not been able to really get anything going in the match. And that's why I think Lincoln need to do what Blackpool have been doing in the first half, and that's attack the match, because right now, it's just not been working at all for them. As for Blackpool, working perfect, hasn't it, really? Everything's been going their way. Realistically, I think they'd have been happier if they were 2-1 up at half-time, but you can't change that, can you? There's not much you can do in that respect. At least they've got the goal that has got them back into the match at the end of the day. I just think there's still work to do for both teams, and I think we should be in for a very exciting second half. As just having a look and seeing what you guys have been saying. Sean in the building saying he would love to go to the Women's Euros next year, especially at SF2. At MK, as it's the day before my 27th birthday. Hopefully you can go, mate, at some point. When is the Euros next year? The women's one at the very least. And then Louis Aston has said, wasn't that Mitchell at Man United? I think it was former Man U player. I'll have a look for you. Let's go and find out and see if it is the... Yeah, it is former Man United player, Dimitri Mitchell. Used to be there. So when you actually look at the Blackpool team, they've got a lot of players from the past. You know, obviously Liam Bridcut is one of them. Husband is one of them. I swear he was at Luton at one point. Kevin Stewart, former Hull, Sunderland. Jerry Yates has been around the blocks recently. They've got a lot of players from the past, and the same could be said about Lincoln as well, especially Liam Bridcut. I think he's the perfect example of a player who's been there and everywhere over the last few years in his EFL career. But either way, both teams are back out for the second half of this match. Are we maybe going to have this game got extra time and penalties? We'll have to find out, because right now, that's exactly where we'd be going here with the scores at 1-1. But we'll have to see as the ball is about to get rolling again. Let's open a can of a Pepsi, because it's warm today. If you're not living in the UK, we've got a heat wave right now, or a mini one at the very least. It is a little bit warmer than it usually would be in the UK. Very nice weather at Wembley. I think it's about 24, 25 degrees, so... the perfect weekend to go and watch football in the sun if you are a Blackpool or a Lincoln fan or any of the 6 teams that have made it to the playoff finals. I can remember when we was at Wembley a few years ago and it was about 25, 26 degrees. It was lovely weather. But let's see what happens in the second half. Are we going to get a goal in the first 40 seconds or 50 seconds like we did in the first half? Probably not. But Michael Apperton, no doubt, has probably had a massive team talk at halftime. I'm going to get the timer back up on the screen as well in 2 seconds. Once again, for those of you that have joined just now, maybe you didn't watch the first half, please try not to spoil anything in the chat for the viewers. A few of the viewers do like to watch at the same time as us, so try not to spoil anything, because we will be a little bit behind any of you guys watching on terrestrial TV. I am watching it on Now TV, so I think it's like 2 or 3 seconds behind. It's not much either way, but hopefully... it should be a good second half. I would expect it to be. I think both teams are going to go for it. Here is Kenny Dougal. Tries to play the ball to Jerry Yates. And the pass in the end is just a little bit too heavy. And Jerry Yates there. We know he's the danger man. He's had a few little opportunities to break through in this first half. If they can keep it going, eventually you'd feel like Jerry Yates will get into the box and have at least one opportunity on goal. And he's not had a goal-scoring opportunity yet, but he was key to the goal that got Blackpool back into the game when he was inside the box and he got the ball to Mitchell. He's been very, very key in this match. And as we said, Ellis Sims missing today because of the training injury. It's a big, big blow for them, because I think someone like that off the bench, you know, if they were losing or if the game just gets a little bit tough or Jerry gets tired, a player like Ellis Sims off the bench is a quality player to have. And it's a massive, massive miss for them. As it looks like Ballard is going to get a booking here. And it's going to be a yellow card for Ballard. Daniel Ballard goes into the book. Free kick for Lincoln. And Ballard, he's not happy with the referee. He's fuming with the decision. He disagrees. And, you know, we're going to see the foul again. And it was Morgan Rogers coming forward. And it's the right decision in the end. He pulls him back by the shirt. And then pretty much pulls him down to the floor. I don't know what Ballard is thinking there in terms of protesting. But he goes into the book. He gets a yellow card. And that is now 2 of the defenders in the Blackpool back line that are on bookings. Of course, we already saw Luke Garbutt get one after for about 5 minutes. So there is going to be the risk now of the 2 players in the back just having to watch out and not get themselves sent off. What we'll have to see is Lincoln look to drive forward here. Ball played towards Morgan Rogers. And makes a really good run forward. Very quick player, isn't he, Rogers? As they try and get a bright start to the second half, Lincoln City. Weren't really on the front foot, were they, in that first half after the goal? They just let Blackpool right into the game. But here they come on the ball now. McGrandles tries to play it into the path of Hopper. Comes into the path of Bridcut. Now to Johnson. Plays it to Eden. Here's Grant. Back to Eden, outside the box. Lovely work here. Ball played towards Eden, but brilliant defending by Turton, who gets a free kick in the end. And Eden is absolutely fuming with the referee. But in the end, it's not going to change his decision. And it's going to be a free kick for Blackpool. And any kind of contact there on a defender, if they go down, it's always going to be a free kick for the defender anyway, which the referee gives instantly. And it's a free kick for Blackpool. As Patricia's in the building. How are you doing, Patricia? Hope you're all good. She says, Leeds supporter here wants Lincoln to win. Well, so far, I'd say not so good in terms of how they've played. But they're in it. It's still 1-1. And I think that's the important thing for them. They're not out of the game yet. As they try and push to get a goal to put them back into the lead. As Chris is in the building as well. How are you doing, Chris? Hope you're all good as always, mate. Welcome along. Hope you are good. Saw you doing a Q&A session with the darts board earlier on. Here comes Blackpool, though. Could be a brilliant opportunity here. Ball's lobbed into the box, and in the end, the cross doesn't reach anyone, and Embleton's cross will actually go out for a corner, and that is much better from Blackpool in this first 5 minutes. You can see Jerry Yates, the movement. He tries to get to the near post. It's actually very good defending from Ioma, who just gets in front of Yates to stop him making the run to the near post. And the Tangerine end... we might have a chance here to see a goal in the back of the net because they've got a corner here. Ball's lobbed into the box. Palmer punches it, but not convincingly. It'll come back to Blackpool on the left wing. What can they do with the ball here? It's going to be Anderson. Played into Ballard. Ball lofted in. Comes towards Jerry Yates. Out to the edge of the box. And, well, it was a speculative effort in the end from Kevin Stewart. Tries to go for the volley. And in the end, it's high and wide. It doesn't come to anything. It'll be a goal kick for Lincoln. But they are testing Lincoln again here. Not really best chances so far in the second half. But it's putting them under pressure. As King Phantom says, I want Lincoln to win purely, of course, because of Brennan Johnson, who's had a brilliant season. I bet as a Forest fan, King Phantom, you're absolutely buzzing with that. Going to be a good season for him next year. I think Forest are probably going to be one of the teams that has a bit of resurgence in the Championship, I feel. You've got a lot of good youngsters and a lot of players coming back from loans and stuff as well that are going to be probably getting into your team next season, I think. I mean, if you actually look at the back end of the season for Forest with Houghton, very good. Much better. Chris saying, not feeling myself, unfortunately, but watching you in football will take my mind off things. That's right, Chris. Sit back, relax. I will try my best to get the feelings all good. I mean, it's been a good game. This will definitely get you going. It's been a very good game. End-to-end football. Should put a smile on your face with the goals. Patricia saying she clicked the button. Thank you very much, Patricia. Greatly appreciated. We've had a lot of new subscribers recently. Thank you to all of you that have left subs. We're going to try and cover a lot more of the EFL next season. We covered a fair chunk of it this year. But we're going to try and cover a lot more of it alongside European football. Sadaba says, Blackpool win today, please. As of right now, I'd say they are probably in a much better position than Lincoln are to go out there and win it, but we'll have to see. And then King Phantom saying he wants him back ASAP. Is he on a 1-year or 2-year loan deal, Phantom? I'd assume he's coming back next season to you guys. Because if he does come back, I can't see Forest loaning him out next season. I'm pretty sure you'll have him in the side next year and be playing him. He's going to be an absolute nightmare. Especially with the amount of clubs that want him as well. I think if Forest can hold on to him, he's the key of like the next big player for Forest that'll move on to good and better things. Or he stays and becomes a one-team player. Which I don't think we see often these days, to be honest. It's not something to see anymore. But we're seeing Ian Holloway, a man who knows about the playoffs. Led Blackpool in the Championship a few years ago to the playoffs. And got Blackpool to the Premier League in 2009-2010. That feels like a long, long time ago, doesn't it? The days of the Portsmouths and the Blackpools in the Premier League are long gone. But they're now fighting for the Championship. But there's a chance here. Here's Yates. It's a Kenny Dougal! And he's done it again! And Kenny Dougal repeats the goal that he put in about half an hour ago. And it's Dougal magic! And it's not just the magic roundabout, it's the magic Dougal that puts the ball in the back of the net. It's Blackpool who take the lead in this game. And just like that, the home side have taken the lead. And Blackpool erupts. And no doubt, there will be pure jubilation in Blackpool with all the fans. And of course, Wembley with the 6,000 fans erupts as well as Blackpool take the lead. And it is literally a carbon copy of the same goal. What we saw in the first half from Kenny Dougal. Jerry Yates just plays the ball out to Kenny Dougal. It's a effort taken from outside of the box. It's low driven. It's into the bottom left-hand corner. Rinse and repeat. And just like that, Kenny Dougal puts Blackpool back into the lead. And as Chris has put, Kenny Dougal 2-1. And Lincoln now have got all the work to do. Well, well, well. I tell you what, Kenny Dougal, 3 goals in his last 2 appearances. He scored in the playoff semi-finals. He scored 2 in the final. And he's a CDM. And he's played brilliantly. And now Lincoln have got all the work to do. They're 2-1 down. And you can hear the Blackpool fans, of course, full jubilation. As they know they're about 35 minutes away from the Championship. They've had years of pure misery, struggles, but this is a chance now of a new beginning for Blackpool to restart, and maybe one day we'll see him back up there in the Premier League. Might take a few years though for that. Patricia's asked, can I ask who is your team? Of course you can. My team's Rotherham United. Sadly, got relegated, didn't we? Great season for us. King Phantom saying he's coming back after this match apparently, basically, so even better for you the fact he's coming back. His loan was until yesterday, but obviously it would be unfair to take him back now. Yeah, that's very true. I guess it'd be very harsh to take him away from the playoff final. But when you actually look at goals in the second half, Lincoln have scored 66.7% of their goals in the second half this season. That's the highest percentage of any team in EFL football to score goals in the second half. So they are a danger in the second half. But Blackpool are a danger as well. And I don't think this game is done yet. I do think we've got a few more goals in this game. But we'll have to see. As Dr. Peter says, strong finishers Lincoln to take control. And then literally as he said that, the goal went in. Sick as a pig. I need to kick something right now, honestly. It's one of those, isn't it? If you're a Lincoln fan, you're absolutely gutted. But there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go in this game. I mean, Russ has said, and I completely agree with you, Russ, Lincoln have been poor since they took the lead. They have. They haven't done anything in the game. It's very Swansea-esque of yesterday's playoff match. But they were just lucky that they got the goal. As Patricia says, oh no. Whether that's the fact of, oh no, because we got relegated, or oh no, because I'm a Rotherham fan. Probably the latter, but I do like Leeds as a club. I think, for me, Leeds is one of the clubs that, out of the teams in South Yorkshire, I appreciate Leeds more for what they've gone through as a club than the likes of Wednesday United and such. I'd probably say I like Leeds and Sheffield United more. Wednesday and Doncaster and that, I'm like, oh, just leave them to the side, don't really care. But I guess we're always going to have rivalries in Yorkshire. There's so many teams. And right now, for Blackpool and Lincoln, The rivalry is going to get much, I'd say much sweeter, isn't it, for Blackpool? They've actually never beat Lincoln. Well, not beat Lincoln this season, Blackpool. So this will be the first time that they've done it. But Ednam saying, brilliant goal again by Kenny Dougal. As there's a free kick from Lincoln. It goes into the box. There were 2 players there. It wasn't a bad ball at all, but I just want to see who the 2 players that got in for it. It was Ayoma and Paul, who both gambled on it. It's a really, really good ball, but in the end, they just don't gamble on it much. And the chance there for Lincoln goes wide of the mark, goes out of play for a goal kick. As Jack Lovett says, Embleton's unreal. He's a brilliant player, isn't he, Elliot Embleton? One of Blackpool's quality players. And I really do think, if Blackpool do go up next season, I really do think they've got a capable squad, strong enough to stay up. With a few more additions in there, a few more players, I really do think that Blackpool have got a good chance. And it'd be nice as well. I mean, I'd be good as a Rotherham fan, because I always love a cheeky trip to Blackpool. I'm going to be there in a few months for the darts at the Winter Gardens, so I would have liked to have had one more trip as a Rotherham fan to Blackpool Stadium. But I think if you're a Championship club right now, you might have a trip to the seaside in a bit. But there might be a chance here, as Johnson drives forward. Good defending in the end by Ballard. And the goal goes out of play for a corner. And Lincoln now trying to put pressure on. Lincoln going to take the corner. Taking it quickly. Didn't get to see what happened because the replay was too busy being shown. But it is out of play for another Lincoln corner. And they're going to take this one a little bit slower now. As Patricia says, I mean, great you support Yorkshire team, as I love Yorkshire. We love Yorkshire, Yorkshire. What a place to be. Corner going to be lofted in by Lincoln towards the near post. It's headed away. Comes to the edge of the box. It's hoofed away by Kenny Dougal, who's now doing his defensive work very well. But Lincoln now trying to push up the pitch. Here's Grant. Tries to play the ball into Johnson. He's gone down. There's calls for a penalty from the Lincoln player, but the referee doesn't acknowledge any of the calls. And play continues. But what a risky challenge to make. Very risky challenge. And James Husband, very experienced player, been around the block, hasn't he? Very, very risky challenge, but I don't think it's enough to be giving that as a penalty, if I'm being honest with you. You don't give penalties for that. As we're about to reach the half an hour mark of this game. Chris saying, I predict a 2-1 Blackpool before the game. I mean, you might be right. We'll have to see. We'll have to see whether or not Blackpool can hold on. Or maybe get a few more goals, because here's Yates at the halfway line. Plays the ball into Kevin Stewart. He's gone down. Calling for a free kick. Referee says get up. And play continues. Chris saying I predicted Blackpool on their impressive playoff record. I think, to be honest, when you look at the way that these two teams were at the end of the season, I think it was Blackpool were always, for me, the favourites to win it. I don't personally think, and I said this before, I don't think Sunderland were nowhere near good enough for the playoffs. I think they came in on horrible form, and Lincoln played such a good game against them. But for me, the way that Blackpool have been this season and their form is unbelievable. But I'm going to stop for a second because there's a chance here. Might be an opportunity to play the ball into the box towards Johnson. Ball's played to the edge of the box. He comes towards Brennan Johnson. Brilliant work from Brennan Johnson. Tries to take on his man. He's still got the ball. Plays it into the box. Doesn't get to anyone. And Blackpool clear the ball away. And it's desperation from the Blackpool back line. And that was a moment of real nerves. And I think Brennan Johnson should have done so much better there. And the ball, it's whipped in. He's screaming for the ball. And I think it was a really good pass in the end. It comes to Brennan Johnson. He takes it round his man. He's just got to take the shot on first time, I think. But in the end, he does a little bit too much. Keeps the ball, tries to flick it in the box. And then in the end, Blackpool clear the lines. And just a little bit of nerves there for the Blackpool back line as they look to come forward again. And the ball's gone out of play for a throw-in. And it'll be a Blackpool one, at the very least, and a chance to breathe. And what was a very wasted chance. Welcome to the stream, Finley. Hope you're all good, mate. He says, who do you want to win this game? As a Rotherham fan, in the back of my head, I want Lincoln, just so we can go on a Blackpool away day next season. But as a neutral, I want to see Blackpool win it. Because I want to see Blackpool back to the top again. You know, it'd be nice to see Blackpool next season in the Championship doing well. I love them. I think they're a great team. They've been through the tough times, haven't they, Blackpool? They've had the terrible owners. They've had some really low points as a club. And it'd be nice for them to get back to the good days again. Because realistically, I think when you look at a lot of the teams over the last few years that have struggled, Wigan looking like they're going to get back to the good days again. Bolton being promoted this season. Blackpool might be back to win the playoff final. It's good to see a lot of these teams slowly but surely getting back to the good ways. But Tom Hopper's going to come off here for Lincoln. Callum Morton's coming on, and I don't think Hopper's done much in this game, to be honest with you. But Morton comes on, and with half an hour left of this game, can he be the difference maker and be the hero for Lincoln? Because I tell you something, they bloody need one right now, and very quick. As Ednam's saying as well, he predicted 2-1 for Blackpool. And Lawrence has asked, is the match streaming anywhere in the States? I honestly, I wouldn't have any idea. I couldn't possibly tell you, Lawrence. But what I would recommend is try Footy Bite, if you can access that in America. And I'm pretty sure Footy Bite will have it on if you need to find something. If not, there you go. Bernardo's put ESPN Plus has got it on. So if you've got access to that, then everyone's a winner. If not, Footy Bite as well. And I mean, it's a very fair point from Wayne as well. I mean, Lincoln have been to hell about 4 years ago in non-league. Very true. Both teams have had the ups and downs. But realistically speaking, I mean, Lincoln's story has been incredible, hasn't it, as well? The fact that they've just slowly moved up the leagues. Been a very under the radar side, I'd probably say, for Lincoln. One of those teams where I don't think they get talked about often enough for the work that they've done. You know, it was only a few years ago, wasn't it, when they were in League Two? I remember when they were down there, and fair play to them, because they've been on such an incredible journey. That you know, fair play to these two teams. You know, we could have been sat here today with a Blackpool Sunderland final, which I think is what a lot of people expected it to be. But I really do think that both these teams deserved it more than the rest. To be honest, if there's any Oxford fans in here, I think Oxford are one of those sides in League One where I think they always try to finish in the top 10 every year. I think last year was the biggest chance they had to go up. Didn't get it in the end, which is a shame for them. But I really do think Oxford are one of those teams that are... Do you know what I mean? They're all right, but I don't think they've got a good enough team to go up. Well, like when I look at these two teams, I really do think they've got good enough players for championship quality. I think George Grant in the Championship would be brilliant. Bridcut's good enough player for Lincoln. I think Hopper in the Championship are doing an alright job. I don't know if you keep Rogers next season or not, but I think he'd be brilliant for you. So you've got good players, and Blackpool as well. They've got quality all over the board. As seeing with what you guys have been saying. Chris has put, Coyote will score goals for all from next season. Good, he's not staying with us. Really looking forward to seeing how he does next season for us. As there's going to be a free kick here for Blackpool. Liam Bridcut is not happy with the referee, and he's given a yellow card. And there's going to be a free kick at the halfway line here for Blackpool. And we know Liam Bridcut, of course, there to do the dirty work as the defensive midfielder. And we're just going to see that tackle back there. And it's a cynical one. Very cynical. Just gets into Mitchell, absolutely bodies him. Smacks him down to the floor. And I don't think there was much of a decision for the referee to make there. Apart from just getting the yellow card out and giving the free kick instantly. So Liam Bridcut is in the book. And we've got 25 minutes left here. Blackpool 2, Lincoln 1. For those of you that have maybe just joined and missed the action. It's been a stellar game, this one. Really, really good match. All started in the 47th second. When Totten put the ball in his back of his own net. But there might be a chance here. Ball lofted in. And Luke Garbutt accidentally runs the ball out of play for a goal kick. But it was Totten who put the ball in the back of the net after the 47th second. We then got the all-important equaliser from Blackpool. It was Kenny Dougal, who's been brilliant today, who put the ball in the back of the net from outside the box with a low driven shot into the bottom left-hand corner. And then, literally, history repeated itself at the other end of the pitch. Kenny Dougal did the exact same again, outside of the box, bottom left-hand corner. Brilliant, brilliant finish twice from him. As Johnson's been hacked down. Few calls for a penalty, but I actually think that was a very good tackle from Garbutt there. And it'll be a corner for Lincoln. Let's not forget, Garbutt's already in the book with the yellow card, so he needs to be careful. And a corner for Lincoln City. As Russ says, ex-Miller player Jerry Yates could be promoted. Would you be happy for him? 100%. I think he didn't have a great time with us, but he's a very good player. A very good player. As Lincoln, lobbing the cross into the box. Doesn't get to anyone. It's lobbed back in, but offside is given. Very easy offside. And as Benala's put, goals have been all Blackpool today. They have. They honestly have been. And when you actually look at the stats of the game so far, we've 20 minutes left of the game. Lincoln have still had no shots on target. Blackpool have had 7 shots on target, 9 shots. As we've just seen Blackpool's owner. What a brilliant, brilliant owner he's been. Going from the... I can't remember who the owners were before, but the absolute dickheads who were in charge before that were basically ruining the club and rinsing it for every penny they could. The guy that's come in has done an incredible job. And fair play to him, because he's been able to get the fans back on his side. As Gary Medine, the goal machine, is coming on for the last 20 minutes of this game. As Daz is in the building as well. How are you doing, Daz? It's afternoon, Josh. Sorry I'm late. How are you doing today? I'm doing very good indeed. I hope you're doing good as always, Daz. As we've got 20 more minutes of action here. Are we on course for Blackpool to be back in the Championship, or will we see any twists late on in this game? As Gary Medine is going to come onto the pitch. And off comes Dimitri Mitchell, who had a very good game. I think him and Anderson on the wings have caused some real problems today for the Lincoln back line. But Mitchell, former Man U man, his day is done. And another option up top for Gary Medine. In that 4-4-2, I think they were playing. And now Gary Medine and Jerry Yates together. Be interested to see how they do for the rest of the match. Of course, game management key now at this stage of the match. With 20 minutes left. You know Lincoln are probably going to bring on a few more attackers at some point and push numbers forward. It's just a case now of can you either A, hold on to the lead, or B, will you try and push and get a third goal and kill this game off? Here's Callum Morton trying to get the ball back. Slight little mistake about, but in fact the referee's giving it as a free kick to Blackpool, and Callum Morton is mortified with the referee with his decision. He thinks that Blackpool's Taunton has just fell over. And in the end, I think he's given a free kick in the end to Blackpool. As you can see, Appleton on the touchline. 3 attempts in the game for Lincoln, none on target. 9 attempts for Blackpool, 7 on target. It's been better from Lincoln, don't get me wrong. But it's not been good enough. They need that 1 shot on target minimum. And in a game as well, where they're only 1 goal behind, it might be that 1 shot on target that gets them the all-important equalising goal. But we'll have to see as the game goes on. As Chris says, Yates and Medine, both Carlisle players in the past. The memories. It's mad, isn't it? I always think with the playoffs, they always bring up some interesting names of the past, don't they? The playoffs. You see some interesting players from times gone by. You see the odd player who's playing for a lower division team that you're like, I recognise him. Joe Ledley, I think, is the example for Newport County. A very good example of a player who has been around in the past. But here comes Lincoln on the attack. Ball's going to be lofted towards Rogers. Doesn't get to him in the end. And the pressure beginning to build here. Trying to get the ball towards Morton. Here is McGrandles at the edge of the box. Done really well to keep the ball somehow. Tries to get the ball to Morton. And in the end, it's going to be a free kick for Blackpool. Once again, Turton going down. A few disgruntled Lincoln players there with the referee's decision. But Lincoln just starting to feel like things aren't going their way here. As Turton, that's the second time he's been up against Morton. And he goes down. And surely, Michael Appleton will make a few changes soon, you feel? We'll have to see whether or not he does. But Benaz asked, does Newport play today? No, that one's tomorrow. Bank holiday Monday is when that game is on. They tend to usually put the 3 playoffs over the weekend. So you have one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, and then one on a Monday. But I will be covering that tomorrow. That'll be my last watch along until the Euros. Because, of course, I've been pretty much live all weekend. But here come Blackpool on the attack. What can they do here? Jerry Yates plays the ball into Anderson. Kenny Dougal calling for the ball. Obviously could go and get a hat-trick if he wants. Anderson trying to get the ball towards Kenny Dougal. Here he is on the ball, Dougal. Might be on for the match ball. Oh, brilliant ball. Jerry Yates round the keeper and out of play. And it's cleared off the line. And I thought there Jerry Yates was going to get the winning goal. And it was a brilliant ball from Gary Medine. He just flicks it. And Jerry Yates, he just tries to chip the ball over the keeper. But he just doesn't get enough power on the ball. And in the end, it's cleared off the line. And good clearance in the end by Lincoln. They know that that could have been the moment in the game where Blackpool win it and Walsh clears it away. And another chance for Blackpool that goes wide. They'll really be thinking here, let's get another goal in this game and kill it off. Because, I mean, Jerry Yates, they're so close to what would have been the probably the winning goal of the game. Really, really good chance. But with 18 minutes left, and with no shots on target, Lincoln are still somehow in it. I don't think it'll be long before we see someone like Anthony Scully come on. Here's Morton. Into Morgan Rogers. What can he do? Morton calling for the ball. Rogers still going. Hasn't really got anybody to play the ball into. Tries to flick it towards the near post. It comes towards Morton. And in the end, it's Luke Garbutt who gets his head onto the ball. Corner for Lincoln. Brilliant game this has been. Brilliant game. Brilliant, brilliant match. I mean, out of context saying he wants €50 on it. Still need one more goal for it out of context. Hopefully you can get it, mate. But it's going to be George Grant who takes the corner. Lobbed into the box. Comes towards the near post. Doesn't get to anyone. And in the end, it bobbles its way out to Morgan Rogers, who's on the ball. Drives forward. Lovely run from Rogers. Tries to play the ball into the box towards Ioma. And it'll be a Lincoln throw-in. As Samuel's asked who we're rooting for then. In my head, Samuel, I'm rooting for Lincoln because as a Rotherham fan, I want an away day in Blackpool next season in League One. But I want to see Blackpool win with my heart. I just get to watch it as a neutral and enjoy it. That's the good thing. That's what I like when we do these watch-alongs with the playoffs. If you're not in it, it's alright. You can sit back and you can enjoy it. But if you're a Blackpool fan and a Lincoln fan, I've had the experience too many times with Rotherham. I feel sick to my stomach watching playoff games. Absolutely sick to my stomach as a Rotherham fan. We've been in them too many times before. And I'm hoping we're not in them next season again. Ball's lofted long. Comes towards the path of Brennan Johnson. But he just can't get a touch on the ball. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. And he's had his hands full, hasn't he, Luke Garbutt? He's done really well considering he's on a yellow card. Got that early tackle, and we've seen that tackle again, which was inside the box where there was the call for the penalty, and it was a good tackle in the end. I think I don't think you're giving that as a pen. I think that was a right decision from the ref. As KL says, I really want extra time. Yeah, do you know what? I'd like extra time myself. I think because the way that this game's kind of played itself out, it's been very end to end. So I would love to see extra time, but we'll have to see if we get any late drama in the next 15 minutes because I really. As much as Lincoln have been quiet, you still feel like it only takes one chance in this game and they could be back into the match. As Samuel asked, what was the own goal like? Did Turner smash it in the first minute? Yeah, it was Taunton who put the ball into the back of his net, but I actually think it was the goalkeeper's fault more than anything. The cross came in. Maxwell had gone, obviously, to look like he'd gone to pick up the ball. He missed it. And then, obviously, Taunton couldn't really do much about it. His foot was out there and it just went into the back of the net. So, realistically speaking, I just feel like at the end of the day, I don't think there's much Taunton could do. But we've got a free kick here in a very good position for Blackpool. If they could get a goal from this, then maybe this would seal the deal. And I feel like this is in a very good position. It's just outside of the box on the right wing. I really do feel like if you play this down low, get it into someone, I think this could go in the back of the net. Numbers forward for Blackpool here. Can they get the ball in the back of the net? It's going to be played in by Garbutt. Dinks it up. Lovely ball. Lovely header towards Gary Medine. But in the end, I think the man who you would have wanted to have had his head on the ball, Gary Medine, just can't keep the ball down. And in the end, it goes over the goalkeeper and out of play for a goal kick. As out of context, CEO saying this isn't looking good for me. 15 minutes left, mate. Still a chance. You'll have to see whether or not they can. But for just saying naughty Josh, thinking Blackpool is Lancashire, there's only one rose. The white one, of course, of course. Vanilla saying would have loved extra time for City Chelsea yesterday. I don't think City have even had a shot on target if they would. But now there's a chance here for Blackpool to come forward. Here's Keshi Anderson. Brilliant defending from the back from Liam Bridcutt. He's on a yellow card. Goes in for the sliding tackle. Really, really good defending from the former Hull man. And Samuel Hunt saying, me too, but hey ho, City played poor. And Peter Thompson is saying, do you think Wales will finish higher than England again in the Euros? I think Wales have got a very tough group. I feel like Wales group is kind of a second group of death. I think Italy are very good. Turkey have had a stellar year, so don't count them out. And Switzerland are a very decent side. So I think Wales have got to start on the front foot well. I feel like if Wales don't win their first game, they're out. Or they probably could be out. But for me, it's a tough group to be in for Wales. But for England as well, I don't think... Obviously, we know Croatia. We know what they're like. I think Czech Republic as well are another good team. You know, you can't sleep on them. We played them before. We struggled. I think we actually lost against them the last time we played. So they've got a bit of history against us. But I do feel like we should get out of the group. We should realistically get out of the group. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what goes on. I'm looking forward to the Euros. Should be very exciting. But we're going to have a change here for Blackpool. And it's going to be Grant Ward coming off. Former Millers man. He'll be coming on for Keshi Anderson. And then we're going to have another change as well in a moment, which we'll just see who comes on. But Ben Dover's in the building. Now we're doing Ben Dover. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're all good as always. And Elliot Embleton's going to come off as well. And we're going to see another game. As Elliot Embleton comes off. Might be his last game. And it'll be Hamilton who comes on. So Ward and Hamilton on. Anderson and Embleton off for the final 12 minutes. Could maybe the attacking options now for Blackpool be the difference and maybe get themselves that third goal to kill the game off and win it once and for all. As Keshi Anderson comes off with the injury, limping, not what you want to see. And here comes Anthony Scully. We said about Anthony Scully before, not actually surprised he wasn't starting today, but he comes off, George Grant. And Anthony Scully comes on, and he is the danger man that Blackpool will need to look out for because Anthony Scully will be desperate to get a goal in this game and take Lincoln to extra time, or maybe even, with the time left, go on and win the match with 10 minutes left. Ball cleared away by Ioma. Can they get a goal here? Ball lofted long. Gets it towards Morton. Doesn't get it in the end. And the header's into his hands. And yes, I know his name's Ben Dover. I know his name's Ben Dover. If that's the Arsenal fan from yesterday, how are you doing for the huge anus joke you made? Well, good chance there for Morton. Ball lofted long towards him. And a really good chance. Really good chance. And I wonder if Anthony Scully now will be the man who can maybe get into this game and just have the chance on goal. Because I feel like we had a very good few opportunities with Morgan Rogers and Brennan Johnson trying to push forward. But it's just one of those where I don't think they've been good enough in the last kind of 80 minutes, Lincoln. And maybe Anthony Scully, a man who has got a whole host of goals this season, could be the man to at least get the ball on target or into the back of the net. But Rusty's off. Thank you very much, Russ, for joining us as always, mate. We'll see you at some point very soon. Take care, my friend. And hopefully we'll see you again at some point in the next few days. See you later, mate. And we'll have to see here as Hamilton comes forward. Ball lofted into the box. Comes towards Gary Medine. It's going to be cleared away by Eden. And it'll come all the way back to Blackpool. Who might be able to start the attack again. And Ballard does very well there to just clear his lines. And stop any opportunities for a Lincoln City counter-attack as we enter the final 8 minutes of what has been a very enjoyable playoff final. Really good game. Probably more enjoyable than the one yesterday. Although saying that, if Ivan Toney's volley went in, I would have gone absolutely ballistic. As Daz says, there's a Fantasy Euros on the UEFA website. We might do it. We'll have to see. And then Chris saying, can't see Wales getting out of their group. Tough group. It is a group of death, isn't it, that, for me? Last 16 for England, because I think we'll win our group and face one of France, Germany, Portugal. I hope we don't. I want us to finish second. Let's give Croatia a repeat of the World Cup final with France. We'll take either one of Spain, Sweden, Poland, and I think who else is in the group? I can't remember. There's another. There's another nation in there. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. But we'll have England versus Sweden again, or England v Poland. I think that'd be a good game. As Benaldo was saying, a massive thank you to everybody in the stream. 120 of you, Jesus Christ! Thank you for all of you. If you have enjoyed it, then please don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. We've got a whole host of content coming up over the next few months. We've got the Euros. We're going to try and cover as many games as we can. We're going to try and cover the EFL, a lot of the EFL next season as well. So do stick around because we do a whole range of different leagues and different watch-alongs. So if you have enjoyed it, then do stick around because it's not just me on the channel. There is a whole host of us covering different games. And you'll see those guys a little bit more when the Euros do come around in about a week's or two time. Regan Poole having to stretch there, make a good tackle just to stop Blackpool from coming forward. Here's Regan Poole trying to get the Lincoln side forward. They've still not had a shot on target in this game with 7 minutes left on the clock. Here's Jerry Yates on the ball. Two up top now for Blackpool. Tries to feed the ball to Grant Ward, who gets it. Here's Ward. Into Dougal. Now into Kevin Stewart. Into Gary Medine. Back to Kevin Stewart again. Dougal on for the hat-trick, by the way. Here's Hamilton. Lovely run forward from him. Lovely dinked ball towards the near post. Tries to get it towards Jerry Yates. He'll come out to the edge of the box towards Kevin Stewart. Doesn't get to him. And Lincoln have got to clear their lines again. And here come Lincoln trying to press forward. Scully's gone down. Referee's not going to call for the free kick. And now he calls for the free kick. And I don't know why he's taken that long to give it. And in the end, it brings it back. And I tell you what, if he left that any longer, there'd have been a bit of controversy. And Husband will get a yellow card. And Lincoln have got a free kick at the halfway line. Peter Thompson saying Sweden England's jinx team. You do not want them. I swear we beat them last time when we played them at the World Cup. Now they haven't got Zlatan as well, Peter Thompson. I feel like we're okay. But saying that, we are England. We love to fuck it up against the easiest teams. Ball lofted into the box. Morton gets the head onto it. But again, is that the moment in the game where Lincoln could have had the ball in the back of the net? He feels he should have done better with that. And he should do better with it because the ball's lofted in. Really good ball. And Morton, all he's got to do is get it down. And I feel like he'd probably have that on target. But again, he doesn't. Puts it a little bit too high. He goes over Chris Maxwell. And out of play for a goal kick. And there's 5 minutes left here. And Lincoln, I think, have had too many chances like that this afternoon where they've just not put the ball anywhere near the goal. And it goes out of play for a Blackpool goal kick. With 5 minutes left. I don't think, to be honest with you, there's going to be much additional time added on. So Lincoln are going to have to try and push the numbers forward. But when you've got Gary Medine and Jerry Yates up top with the front two, there's going to be a lot of space for them to get into it if they do push players forward. As Patricia says, go Lincoln, hoping she can see Lincoln get a late goal here. And here they come. Here's Anthony Scully on the ball. Morton's calling for it. There's also Johnson at the back post. Scully lobs it in. Comes towards Horton. Ball's bobbling. Punched away by Maxwell. Comes towards Johnston, who takes the shot on. It's cleared away by Husband. And Lincoln, well, have got to fight for another day here. Here's Blackpool. As Jerry Yates gets the ball back. Ball lofted long. Tries to get it towards Gary Medine. He's making a run forward. But Alex Palmer comes out of his goal. And he's able to calm the player down. And what an end we've got here to this League One Play-Off Final. Don't worry for you guys waiting for the League Two Play-Off Final. That's Morecambe against Newport. I will be live covering that tomorrow. So if you've not enjoyed it, well, if you have enjoyed it, then you wouldn't be here. If you have enjoyed it and you've enjoyed the sound of my voice for 90 minutes, then do join us tomorrow because I will be covering the final playoff match. Morecambe-Newport. Should be a cracker, that one. Newport coming off the back of one of the most unbelievable playoff semi-finals I think we've ever had. Incredible game against Forest Green. And then Morecambe in a pretty decent game against Tranmere themselves. So it should be on for an absolute pile driver of a game tomorrow. But what have Lincoln City got left in the tank here? They are down to the last 3 minutes of normal time. And they need a goal to take us to extra time and /or penalties. Here's Walsh. Plays it back to the keeper. If you're a Blackpool fan, it's gone a little bit quiet in Wembley. I think the nerves have begun to build for the Blackpool fans. They know they're potentially about 5 minutes away from being in the Championship next season. And Lincoln Still not had a shot on target yet. Can they have that one shot? That one shot on target that can get them into the game. Grant Ward trying to get the ball back. He's come back to Scully, and now there's a chance here for Lincoln to break forward. It's a 5-on-4 with 4 Lincoln players forward. Here's Rodgers at the edge of the box. Rodgers! Oh! That was the chance. And I thought Rodgers had put the ball in the back of the net then, but he just couldn't pull it off. And that might have been the moment for Lincoln City. A bit of individual brilliance maybe was what was needed in this game. He tries to curl the ball, but in the end, when you actually look at it, it's not as close as you think it is. And in fact, it whacks someone on the head who's on the cameras. And it's going to be Joe Walsh who comes off. Lewis Montsma comes on for the last few minutes. And that was the moment, I feel, there for Lincoln. And what an opportunity that was for Morgan Rodgers. Just needed that curl on the ball and he could have got the goal. But 2 minutes left. I think we'll probably get maybe 3 minutes of additional time. I don't think there'd be a great deal, to be honest with you. But what a chance that was. As Peter Thompson said, Portugal got an extra chance at the Euros. It's going to be a tough group though, isn't it, that one? Really excited to see how that goes down because there's one team minimum that is going to have to rely on the third place spot. As the flag goes up for offside for Lincoln. Free kick for Blackpool. And now there's about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Blackpool going to make a change, I think, as well, just to change things up. They're going to bring on a centre-back and take Jerry Yates off. So Thornley's going to come on in a moment. Strecker saying, come on, Imps. We got this. Never give up. Can they do it? Can they get something here in this game as the substitution's going to be made? So Jerry Yates, who's had a brilliant, brilliant game today. He might have not put the ball into the back of the net, but he was critical to both goals in this game. And he's been absolutely outstanding for Blackpool. An assist for the second goal. He was crucial for the first. And he gets a standing ovation from the Tangerine fans. As Willie D says, you're so biased against Lincoln, it's unreal. I think I've been fair enough with Lincoln in this game. As I said, I just personally think they've not played good enough. And that's not bias, that's just genuine honesty. I think they've had 1 or 2 good chances, Lincoln, in this game. I think the Rodgers chance was a good one. But if you are going to sit there and say that Lincoln have had a good match, then I will probably get your head tested. Because they've just not had many opportunities. And I wouldn't say I've been biased at all to Lincoln. I have given them the credit where they needed. So I would probably disagree with that. But they've got a total of... We'll find out how much additional time they've got in a second. I don't think it's going to be a great deal, to be honest with you. But here come Lincoln as they try and come forward in this game. They really need a goal now in the last few seconds of this match. We have now reached additional time in this game. And it's going to be a total of... How long is it? 4 minutes to try and get a goal in this match to take us to extra time. And Michael Apperton and his side, they have tried hard in this game. They haven't had many opportunities. But it doesn't matter how many you've had in the game. If the one opportunity comes at the end of the match to get you to extra time, then I don't think Lincoln fans would care whatsoever if they was to get the goal. And they're going to try and push everybody forward now, Lincoln. Here's Ioma. Tries to play the ball up the pitch. It's going to be at the halfway line for Lincoln. Here's Rodgers. Tries to push forward. Good defending from the back from Blackpool. And it will be a Lincoln throw, which Scully's going to try and take very quickly here. And I mean, if you're a Lincoln fan, it's been a brilliant season for you. Yes, I know it'll be a shame if they don't win it here at the end of the match. But what a season for Lincoln. To be able to get themselves into the playoff final, it's a step in the right direction as the club continues to build. And credit to them. We said before earlier on, it was only a few years ago they were in the National League. And they were 1 game away from the championship. But there's calls for a corner. And I think the referee's given I think they've given them a corner. And it will be a corner here for Lincoln. Are they going to be able to get a chance from it? Can they get it? Goalkeeper might be coming up here. And I think if Willie D, if you are a Lincoln fan, if this goal goes in, then you'll be absolutely buzzing with it. If you are a Lincoln fan, Willie D. I know we had a disagreement, but Palmer's up. Ball's lofted into the box for the corner. It's headed away. Comes to the edge of the box for Morgan Rodgers. It's cleared away in the end by Kevin Stewart. And now there's a chance here for Blackpool to break forward. It's going to be defended though by Ioma, who clears the ball away. Chance here, though, for them to come forward. Free kick's going to be given for Lincoln. And it is going to be a free kick. And Kenny Dougal gives it away. He throws the ball away. And that's going to be a yellow card for Kenny Dougal. And the goal scorer goes into the book with 2 minutes left. I think he got the yellow card for the tackle, which was a very cynical one. And then threw the ball away. But the ref's just given a yellow card. I guess there'll be some people maybe calling for a red there for the two decisions he made. But Ednam saying 4 minutes left. Come on, Blackpool. You're nearly there now. You can do this. As we've got the free kick for Lincoln. Can they deliver? It's not a good free kick, but Blackpool doing so well to defend it. Goes to the corner flag and then boots the ball away. And Palmer stays up. And it's going to have to be a long ball up here from the Lincoln back line. 90 seconds left in this Championship Play-Off Final. Could be a chance, though. Taking the effort, and that is probably going to be the last chance of the game. And that was the opportunity. And they have surely wasted the chance. And it was a great opportunity on the left-hand side. And all you've got to do is stay composed there in the playoff final. Goes for the effort. I think it was McGrandles who went for it in the end. His position is all wrong. And the shot is high and wide. And I think now even Michael Appleton knows that that's probably the last chance they're going to get unless the referee adds a little bit more time here. I think that's Lincoln's dream of championship football over. And the Blackpool fans, they've had their fair share of disappointment in the past with the owners, with the relegations. They were in the Premier League and they are about to go back to the championship. But we are going to have a bit of treatment here for Monsema at the end of the game. Don't think there'll be a great deal of added time on. But the obvious player to get man of the match has to be Kenny Dougal. The 2 goals. Crucial player in this game. And I mean, when you look at both goals, literally carbon copies of each other. Outside the box. And a brilliant finish in the end. But look, I mean, obviously we disagreed, Willie, but he says you're a good commentator, just 2 sides to it. Played bad second half. As I said, I don't like to be biased. I don't want to be biased. But it's just a shame, I think, for Lincoln. Because I think I said it earlier in the first half. It reminds me a lot of Swansea's performance yesterday. They played better than Swansea. Absolutely. Much better than Swansea. But I just don't think... I don't know what it is. I really can't point my finger on what was missing today for Lincoln because they had the chances. They had the chances. But I tell you something, next season Lincoln will be a force to be reckoned with. I know there's going to be a lot of big teams down there. There's going to be Wednesday, Rotherham, Wycombe getting relegated, Wigan on the resurgence, Ipswich, Charlton. It's going to be a tough season. But I think Lincoln, a step in the right direction. But Chris Maxwell has the ball on the spot. The ball is hoof long. And there'll be a little bit more time added on, of course, because of the Monsema injury. But there's going to be a free kick for Lincoln City, and they need to get the ball up the pitch here for maybe one last chance, if the referee will allow the time to be played on. Palmer boosts the ball up the pitch. Referee hasn't got the whistle in his mouth. He's playing on. Ball's headed up. Might be a chance here. Headed away by Hubbard, sorry, not Husband. No, it was Husband. I'm thinking of Hubbard. My apologies. Chance though here. Scully's got the ball. He's at the corner flag. Really needs to get this ball into the box, but there's 3 Blackpool players around him. It's good defended by Turton. Ball's cleared up the pitch, but only back to Lincoln again. But now Blackpool have got the ball, and now there's a chance here for them to break on the counter-attack. Good tackle in the end by Ayoma. But the Tangerine Army are back in the championship. And after years of hurt, years of pain, Blackpool are back in the championship. And credit to Blackpool, they played the game so well. And credit as well to Lincoln, because the season that they've had, it was a brilliant season. But in the end, at the final hurdle, they just weren't able to get there. And I mean, as Benny said in the chat, Swansea didn't have the quality, but had a great season with what they had, just like Lincoln. And I think that is a perfect comment to describe Lincoln's performance. And Blackpool, Kenny Dougal with the 2 important goals, takes Blackpool back to the championship. And credit to Neil Critchley. At the beginning of the season, at the end of October, Blackpool were in the relegation zone. And there were questions being asked of whether Blackpool were going to be able to, of course, have a good season or not. But at the end, they had one of the most incredible runs in the whole of the EFL. They finished third. And an incredible run sees Blackpool back in the Championship next season. And wow, if you're a Blackpool fan, congratulations to you. If you're a Lincoln fan, of course, consolidations there for not making it to the Championship. But what a game it was in the end. It was a brilliant, brilliant match to watch. A really enjoyable playoff final. And Blackpool are in the second division of English football. And honestly, a massive, massive thank you to everybody who's joined in the streams today. There's still 140 of you in the building. If you are new to the stream and you have enjoyed it, then please don't forget to leave a like and a subscription on the channel. We are going to be covering more of the EFL next season. And we have also got a few of the other playoffs still to come on the channel. So do stick around on the channel if you are new and you have enjoyed it. You could join me tomorrow for the final playoff match live from 5 to 3. Morecambe taking on Newport County in the League 2 playoff final. That should be an absolute belter indeed. That's from tomorrow. Azerbaijan Grand Prix from the F1 Watchalong. You could join Rome for that on the 6th of June. That's live from 10 to 1, 10 minutes before the race starts. And then the Euros begin on the 11th of July, 5 to 8. Turkey taking on Italy. First match of the Euros. And then the second match afterwards, Wales taking on Switzerland. That's on the 12th of June at 5 to 2. You can join KL for that, for his first watch-along of the Euros. But as you guys have been saying in the chat, Ednam saying, congratulations, Blackpool, promoted the Championship. You earned this today, and my prediction was correct. Peter Thompson saying, enjoy your podcast, and we'll be coming back. Thank you very much, Peter. Pity Lincoln cost me a grand. Jesus Christ. What bet did you have on Peter? Ouch. Massive bet to lose there. Benaldo saying, never stop fighting after that own goal. That is tenacity. And then Willie D saying, well done, Blackpool. Good game. Honest football all around. Very, very true. Thank you very much for anyone who knows Willie. We might have disagreed, but we got to it in the end. And then Hadrot saying, congratulations to Blackpool, man. They absolutely deserve it. And that is where I'm going to end the stream today. Massive thank you, as I said, to all of you guys for joining in the stream. Really, really enjoyed this playoff game today. I'll be back tomorrow with the final playoff fixture, Morecambe against Newport. Should be a cracker. But as for now, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I will see you tomorrow, 5 to 3 for the League 2 playoff. Take care.